Hello, and thanks for joining me on this episode of Simply Saturday. For today's card, we are going to be using some new paper called Moonlit Flora. And I also have some die cuts that I have previously cut. I actually cut out a bunch of die cuts one evening, just sitting in front of TV watching a movie. And I pulled out these dies and just started cutting. And so I ended up with a variety of, whoops, not this one, not this one, it's this one. I ended up with a variety of die cut ferns and leaves and all of these little elements in a variety of colors. So you can see that. So one thing that does make this card fast and easy is that I already have my die cuts cut. And so if you're crafting along with me and you want to pause the video and get your dies out, you can go ahead and cut. I did this one in Peaceful Pine, this one in Golden Glow, and this one in Old Olive. All right, so that is going to make our card go together very quickly. So we've already got this part. We're going to add our paper to it. I don't think I gave you the measurements of this. This is 4¼ inches by 11 inches. It is scored at 2¾ inches and at 8¼ We're going to put this side of our paper on this flap, and this is actually the reverse side. We're going to put it on here. So we can go ahead and do that. I've made multiple cards with flora and fauna, fern and flora. I've made several cards with fern and flora. I just haven't said the words that many times. And this beautiful paper, it just does not disappoint. It's dark and kind of moody, but fresh because of the ferns and the florals. It's very, very nice. All right, this is going to go on the bottom flap, like so. Beautiful. And this one's going to go on the top flap. As I'm putting this together with you, I will let you know that I'm going to show you two other cards using this exact same layout or template. And it's something that I think you're going to want to try. And by looking at all three samples that I'm going to show you today, you can easily see how you can choose your own paper and your own elements and just copy the layout of this card, especially if you don't have your hands on these items. And you wouldn't have your hands on these yet unless you are a demonstrator. We are still short of that May 5th date when the new catalog and the new online exclusive items are available to the public to order. So we've got that. We talked about our dies. We've got 3 of these little die cuts. And then I used the Stylish Shapes dies. And for this card, I actually used the largest circle, and that one I cut out of soft seafoam. And then one size down, and I cut that into a white circle. All right, so we're going to use that here on the front of the card as well. We're going to use our die cuts, and then this is the white piece for the inside of the card. This is 4 inches by 5¼ and we'll do some kind of decoration on that as well. All right, then I took a stamp from Fern and Flora. That's this little frame, and I went ahead and stamped it on Peaceful Pine, in Peaceful Pine ink, on white cardstock. I think this frame is going to get used a lot. Okay, and then I used the coordinating die and I die cut that out. So that is ready for us as well. Now for the words, instead of using any of the sentiments in Fern and Flora, I decided to grab a sentiment from Banner Sayings. And so I'm going to be using this one, Sending My Love. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and do that right now and stamp it here on this frame, still using the Peaceful Pine ink. And I want it way over here to the right because you'll see how this little banner or tag is going to tuck into the design. I like that little script. I think this is going to be a popular set of words. I'm sure you see something in here that you like already. All right, so let's take our white piece here. This is the one that's going to go on the inside. And I think I will take a stamp from this set. Let's do this one and put it on the inside panel, still with Peaceful Pine. And I'm deciding if we want to bring in any other image or just the greenery. I think what we'll do is add the moth. Okay, so in the stamp set, there is both a butterfly and a moth. So I'm going to take the moth stamp and I'm going to ink it up with Golden Glow. And I want to stamp it on a scratch piece because I'm not sure if I'm going to use it full strength or if I want it stamped off. So this is going to be, yeah, we're going to use it full strength. And I'm just going to put it up here at the top of this panel. And that's going to be for the inside of the card. I feel like this looks kind of plain, like it's just stuck on there. So I'm going to add a second one. And I might even add a third. Let's add the second one and then determine. All right, that's what it needed. It just needed a little bit extra. Okay, so this will be our inside panel. Let's finish the front of the card and then we will put it all together. All right, what I'm going to do is attach the white circle to the soft seafoam circle for starters. Then let's get our die cuts layered onto here. So I just want this one peeking through a little bit because most of the card is in these greens. I've got a little bit of color there. So I'm going to put this one probably right there. Then my Peaceful Pine Fern over the top of it. And this last piece probably coming up like that. That little tag that we prepared is going to tuck in here like so. All right, so let's put that all together. And I can just use a couple of little dots of glue on the back of this. The leaves are large enough that I'm able to put these small dots on. And I'm not going to go all the way to the top because I recognize that much of the top of this is going to be, well, it is on here. I thought maybe it was going to hang off a little more, but that's going to hold down just fine. Then we need this piece, some little dots on the leaves. These bottom leaves obviously are larger than the ones at the top. Okay, and I don't mind if the stem comes down past my green circle, if you see that. And then this one's going to crisscross and basically come straight up the middle of my circle. Once again with the small dots of glue. And ooh, get on there like so. All right, now I want to go ahead and tuck this in before those are sealed down. So let's add a little bit of adhesive to the back of this. I'm not going to put any over on this right side because it's going to hang out, and until we get it on the card, I'm not quite sure what it's going to be touching. So let's just get that into place, and we have built our focal point. Okay, we can bring in our card. This is going to get attached to this flap only. This is going to be nice and straight against the part of the card that splits. And so we can flip this over. Actually, let's put a few dimensionals on this. The other two examples that I'll show you, I just did it with glue, so it's just flat. But let's do this one with dimensionals. So I'll add 3, but I am keeping close to the top edge of this circle because of how it attaches to the top flap. And the circle is basically centered. It's pushed a little bit to the left, only because we have this little tag sticking out. So we need to make that look right. And we will press that into place. Very, very quick and beautiful. Look at this. This is just stunning. This is going to open like so. We can put our inside panel in, and then we'll take a look and see if we want to add any embellishments or just move on. And then I'll show you the other two designs. Soft seafoam is not one of the colors that I reach for very often, but I really like that it's represented in this paper. And it's one of the few colors that helps lighten it up a little bit because, as I mentioned, these are kind of dark and moody and mysterious. So this particular one I thought would look nice with the soft seafoam. All right, this is looking finished. I think we're probably going to need a couple of little embellishments here on that circle. So let me grab those, and then I will show you the other two cards that I just think you are going to love. I know I have some in color. Yes, I do. I have some in color dewdrops, and that's exactly what I was picturing. These are in white, green, and blue, or you could say clear, probably old olive and secret sea. And so I'm going to just use the clear ones. And I'll be grabbing 3 of these. Just to dress this up a teeny bit. I think it's exactly what we needed to finish off this beautiful card. All right, now, if you thought this was a little challenging for a Simply Saturday card, I understand. Again, my die cuts were already prepared. If you had to stop and do those, that would have made this card take a little bit longer. But I do think that with the simple above and below panel that open, the papers, and some kind of a focal point, I think the layout is definitely a fast and easy one that you're going to want to copy. All right, so there's our card for today. Let me show you another one. So this one is using the paper called Bloom Boutique, and also some other elements from Boutique Blossoms. So let's take a look at this one. Here's our Bloom Boutiques paper. Very, very beautiful. There's a little bit of gold in this print. And then you can see this fantastic scalloped circle. One of the bundles includes these dies that have all of these nested shapes. Let's see if I can pull that out here to show you. You guys, I have like 17 stamp sets sitting here on my desk, buried, being used. That and that. And banner sayings. And finally, all right, Stampin' Cut and Emboss dies called Scalloped Blooms dies. So you can see here the varying sizes. I think you'll be able to see a little bit better on my magnet sheet. There you go. And so you can see now that I'm using this one. Let's see, from the smallest, this was 1, 2, 3, and 4 going out from the center. And there's some other products that coordinate with these that you are just going to fall in love with. So back to our card. There is our crisp cantaloupe scalloped shape, and then a white one. And then I did stamp and die cut a flower from Boutique Blossoms. That's this flower here, and some lovely little die cut leaves in Peaceful Pine. So this one is complete as well. Same template or design, just different elements. What do you think of that one? All right, let's look at our third and final example of today's card. And this is with some retired paper, but the stamp set is still available. It's hard to believe that Be My Valentine is still available along with the Bee Builder Punch. All right, so if you have this in your collection, or if you don't have it yet, you probably ought to get it. Hopefully you got the hexagon dies when they were available, but I used some of the coordinating paper with the cute little bee and created this one out of the same design. So there you have this one, and of course the one that we built today. I do so much look forward to your comments and your questions. So if you have anything to let me know, just put it into the comments and I will read them. And I read them all and I answer them all. And if you have any questions for me regarding any of these new products that are coming very, very soon, be sure and ask those questions because I am here to help you. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.